Good afternoon at Sikh Express. We are here with Professor S.S. Gill. He's an economist and we'll conduct an interview about the economy in Punjab. Professor Gill, now how do you rate economy of Punjab these days?
The economy of Punjab has been facing a relative decline compared to some of the fast growing region in this country. In 92-93, Punjab was number one state among the major states in the country in per capita income. In 92-3, Maharashtra overtook Punjab. And now if we go by major states, Punjab comes at number 8th. The states which have gone ahead of Punjab beside Maharashtra, they are Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and then you have Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. They have gone ahead of Punjab.
What is the reason behind all this?
Let me tell you another dimension of it. The second way we look at the economies is in terms of Human Development Index, in which apart from per capita income, we take into consideration the education level, especially the literacy rates, as well as the mean year of schooling, and secondly, life expectancy at birth. Now, Punjab used to be number 2 bracketed with Maharashtra in 92-93 in HDI. Kerala was number 1. Now we are at number 4. The states which have overtook us, they are Himachal Pradesh, beside Kerala and some of the southern states. So we have gone down both in terms of per capita income as well as in terms of HDI. And the reason why we have gone down is that since 1980s, our economy started facing some kind of disruption. Firstly, there was stagnation in agriculture production, especially wheat and paddy, which are major crops. Their yield level started stagnating, or they were growing at a very, very low pace. We have already become double cropped area. There is no scope for further expansion. 96% of area is in irrigation. So irrigation scope, expansion scope is also not there. What was expected after green revolution and agriculture prosperity, where in per capita yield we continue to be number 1 state in the country, that there would be integration between agriculture development and industrial development. The surplus which we produce in this state of agriculture produce, it was expected to be processed, and a deep linkage was expected to be established between agriculture and industry. Surpluses of savings which were generated in agriculture sector, they were supposed to be invested into secondary sector, but that did not happen. Even now we continue to sell wheat and paddy in the raw form, and that too to the procurement agencies. So processing have not gone very well in the state, and in the meantime, when new economic policy came, the states which was closer to the seaports and states which were closer to the national capital region Delhi, they started performing better. And most of the FDI has also come in those states. Punjab is completely bypassed by that. Then there are 2 revolutions which have taken place in the post-reform period in this country. One is communication revolution, and second is the ICT enabled services. In software, we made some initial breakthrough at Mohali. Some companies came, but later on they have wound up their business and gone away. And in telecommunication, we are covered, but very few service providers have their main headquarters here. So continuously we remain to be performing at low rate, and that during last 20 years period of time which I have examined, Punjab's growth rate has been lowest in the country. So therefore, in relative terms, we are lagging behind the rest of the country.
What about the industrialization process, especially the small scale industry, which used to be the strength of Punjab?
Yeah.
What has happened to that now?
So far as the agro equipment is concerned, we are doing very well in terms of production of combines, tractors, or the agriculture implements. But in terms of some of the traditional industries, we have suffered a major decline. For example, Goraya used to be the main centers producing gears, supplying also gears abroad. It is closed down now because it could not cope with the new technologies. Mandi Gobindgarh, which was known as a steel town of North India, 90% of the enterprises are closed there because of trade freight equalization policy which was dispensed with in 90s. So if you are to import a scrap from abroad and it is to be unloaded at Kandla, then you cannot have industry at Mandi Gobindgarh. So most of the mills have shifted their business to Gujarat. Similarly, Batala town, which was a foundry town, and it was doing very good business. During the decade of 1980s, large number of industrialists shifted away from that place to Meerut, Panipat, and some of them to Madhya Pradesh. So it has become a depleted town. In textile, we are producing a lot of cotton. Amritsar declined in 80s, and large number of our spinning mills have been closed down because of bad management. They were in the cooperative sector.
So what about the new technology? Is the new technology going to improve the economy of Punjab or new industries? Do you have any idea about that?
Yes, there is a lot of possibilities for this kind of activities. If we are able to plan properly and if we are able to help some of the entrepreneurs and enterprising persons to do business accordingly. For instance, now we are living in the age where from quantity production people are preferring quality production, and there is a class of people, growing middle class in this country, which wants to have quality food, which means organic food, the fresh foods and fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. So if we are able to produce according to their requirements and produce a better quality of wheat, rice and other things, and we are able to transport them what is called through cold chain. We establish cold stores, cold chains, and we also go for what is called processing of those things, what these days is called agro processing. So we have a global market for that, and there is a lot of scope. But at the moment, the industrialization process is not picking up. One of the reasons is that investment climate is not very good, and predatory extractions by our politicians from the industry is one of the factors which is creating barrier to industrialization.
So what about the education sector? Has the education sector been able to provide some kind of economic revenue to the government and improve the economy in the state?
In fact, the education sector experienced two changes in 90s. One was that we moved from general education to technical education. We set up in 90s, mid-90s, Punjab Technical University, and then a large number of private colleges in this sector came up. Then we have second technical universities, Maharaja Ranjit Singh University. Apart from this, there are 3-4 private technical universities. Rayat Bada is one, Chitkara is another, Chandigarh University is another. Then in medical sector also we set up a Baba Farid University in public sector, and then there are private universities in this area. So we moved from general education to technical education, and we have started producing a large number of engineers, and for them there is no employment local. Most of them are going abroad or they are going to other states. Second thing which we did during this period of time, that we opened the floodgates for private institutions, which mean the institutions for earning profits. They are different from traditional private institutions like DAVs and Khalsa schools and colleges. They were primarily intended to serve the communities. Now the modern generation of private colleges and universities, they are primarily intended to earn profits. So therefore the quality of graduates which they are producing in the technical areas, in medical, in management and as well as in engineering, the quality is very poor. So therefore we are producing engineers, technical workforce, but we are not producing entrepreneurs who can set up their own business, make use of local raw material, make use of local skilled persons, and then process the agriculture produce and market at national, international
So
level.
what would be the roadmap, if I ask you, for the economic development of the state?
I think we have to have 2-3 things put in place. One is that first of all, state must have its own think tank which should plan what is needed, and it should work out a roadmap for the future, what is to be done in which area, and then arrange resources for completion of those projects. So I mean to say that our planning board, Punjab State Planning Board, should be a think tank of the state, and we should appoint intellectuals and gifted persons on that board, which is not the case so. At present it is headed by the Chief Minister, but it never meets, and it has become a place where defeated politicians are made deputy chairmen, or some industrialist is put as a vice chairman of that board, but practically the board is not doing any thinking, and board is not giving studies to different institutions to work out what can be done for them. So first of all, we must strengthen the Punjab State Planning Board and make it a think tank, as we have Niti Yog at national level. Earlier we had a planning commission, but it's not comparable at the state level. It's a very poor kind of and badly administrated institution. I was a member of this board for 3 years, but for 3 years no meeting was held. So if that kind of attitude will remain, then roadmap cannot be worked out. Second thing which need to be done is that the future planning has to be in terms of the resource endowment, and in the resource endowment Punjab has 3 things with it. One is a rich soil, though it has been poisoned by now. Second is the water, the fresh water resources, at least water of 3 rivers. Substantive part of it is flowing into Punjab. And third is the very energetic human resources. So our planning has to be, roadmap has to be taken to based on the resource endowment. Third thing is that current production system, whether in agriculture or industry or in services, we have to find out where are our strong points and where are weak points. So weak spots have to be strengthened and strong spots have to be nurtured. And then we can set up a roadmap and arrange necessary resources. And I believe that immediately what we need to do is that we have to solve the problem of distress in agriculture. Now, you might have noted that for the last 2 months period of time, daily 2 or 3 farmers are committing suicide, and I think this is a reflection of a serious crisis in agriculture. The cotton crop this year has been completely destroyed by white fly, and in procurement system we could not procure PB 1509 variety of paddy. So farmer has to resort to what is called distress sale. So we have to attend to the serious crisis which is there in agriculture, and maybe we have to introduce organizational reforms, that instead of individual cultivation on 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres of land, we may have to persuade them, educate some of them to go for group cultivation, maybe for cooperatives or farmers companies, and for this we have to provide them education, financial support and organizational help. Maybe we have to change our Cooperative Act, which has to be done on the model of Planning Commission Act of 1995. So agriculture crisis need to be attended to. Rural health and rural education is another area which need our immediate attention, and related to roadmap of development. We need to create manpower, human resources, which we require in production system. And once we train them, we should not allow the people that they are forced to migrate elsewhere. So we should create an enabling environment that they are absorbed here and they produce for the state which has invested huge amount among them.
Sir, are the politicians responsible for the present economic slowdown in the state?
Yes, I will blame them squarely because if you look at Punjab's budget profile up to 80-81, 70% or more of our budget used to be spent for development. Education alone had a share in budget which was 24%. After that, when we examine the budget profile, we find that 80% of budget is spent on non-development activities. 20% or 22% is spent on development activities. So the politicians who manage the budgetary affair of the state, they have not resorted to proper tax collection, and they have not managed their expenditure in non-productive areas, and they have allowed the more sources to go towards the non-productive side. So what we need to do is to change the orientation of our government, which was earlier development oriented. Now it has become law and order oriented, and it is the duty of the politician to convert into development oriented. And for this they have to manage state finances, and at present they have resulted into what is called fiscal indiscipline. They are spending resources by borrowing money, and the debt which was 50,000 or 51,000 crores in 2007 when present government came to power in the second time, now it is 1,25,000 crores. 20% of the budget of the state government is going for debt servicing. So it's a mismanagement. And secondly, what I told you earlier, that they are supposed to, Chief Minister is a head of the Punjab State Planning Board, he is the chairman. He should devote more time on thinking what Punjab needs, what should be done with the economy, and if he finds that the youth of this area is not finding any employment opportunities, they are going to war zones, he should not sleep at night. But Punjab has no plan for unemployed persons. They have no plan for a water table which is depleting. They don't have water policy. They do not have even agriculture policy. So whatever mess has come into existence and slowdown has happened, the blame must be given to the politician.
So
because
this is an election year. Now in this election year, what would be your advice to the new government if the new government comes to power?
I think they should constitute, whenever a new government comes into power, a committee of enlightened persons. There are still, compared relatively speaking to neighboring states, we have a fairly good number of intellectuals who are committed to the development of Punjab. Punjab government should create a committee of such intellectuals under the chairmanship of some senior economist in the region, and entrust them the responsibility to prepare a roadmap of reinvention of Punjab. And that detail should be worked out, and they should faithfully implement that roadmap. And for doing so, they must put finances of the state government in proper shape. They should check what you call leakage of public resources, especially non-compliance of tax payment. They should make the urban areas self-sufficient in their financial resources. At present, we are giving 10% of the consolidated fund to the urban local bodies to manage their affairs, to pay salaries. They should be allowed to impose their own taxes and plan the development of the cities according to the requirement and manage those resources. Till the tribe was abolished, our municipality committees and corporations were self-sufficient and they were managing those things. But to go in for populism, they abolished octroys. At that time, the revenue loss was 250 crores. Now it has turned out to be 2,500 crores or more. Okay. So then another thing which we are doing is that we are giving subsidy to power subsidy without any thinking. And it has also led to what you call strengthening of some of the crops cultivation which are not natural crops, especially paddy. And this has also destabilized the finances of the state government. We are giving more than 5,000 crore annual subsidy to electricity to grow paddy, which we don't consume, which we are exporting to other states. And now the other states are not interested in that paddy. So we have to rationalize that subsidy also and spare at least annually 20,000 crores for development purposes.
Thank you very much, Professor Gill. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. I am grateful that you have introduced me.